Hello, welcome to my channel. Another bibliophile reads. My name is Greg, and today I am filming in Portland, Oregon. I have just had a morning trip to Powell's Books in downtown Portland in the Pearl District. It is the largest independent bookstore in the world, or so I am told. It is one city block building full of books. It has 4, maybe 5 floors of books. I only got to visit a small portion of the floors while I was there. I was there for about 2 hours, maybe 2.5 hours. I met up with my buddy, Alan, at Big Hard Books and Classics. And afterwards, we got to shop the Oregon Portland Marketplace on Saturday. And I got some delicious meat on a stick skewers. Very good. They have lots of arts and crafts in the market in Portland, Oregon. I didn't buy anything there, but I do want to show you my book haul from Powell's because I am no longer on the Read What You Own challenge. I finished it as a failure on Friday, the other day, so I am totally free to buy books from Powell's. And one of the sort of disappointments I noticed at Powell's is they used to be a great place for used books and rare books. I did not actually get to the rare book room, but their used book selection is going down, and they have a lot more new books than they used to when I was shopping there a few years ago. But I did find some great books, I think. And the first one is John D. McDonald, The Brass Cupcake. John D. McDonald is more famous for his Travis McGee series of, let's just say, an investigator on a yacht who does finding things for people. He's sort of a private detective, but not really a private detective in that name. But here is the story. Take a hard-boiled ex-cop named Cliff Bartels. Take a beautiful girl with the unlikely name Melody Chance. Add the death of one Elizabeth Stegman of Boston, Massachusetts, plus her missing jewels, insured for $750,000. What have you got? Murder for profit, of course. Cold-blooded, premeditated murder. This book was originally published in 1950, so that $750,000 was a lot of dough back then. Of course, I had to pick up a Travis McGee novel, One Fearful Yellow Eye. Glory Doyle had been one of the broken birds. McGee had taken her aboard the Busted Flush, that's his yacht, patched her up and turned her loose to make another try at life. Now she was calling for help again. Someone had very quietly, very skillfully extracted $600,000 from her husband during the last painful year of his life. Blackmail? Obviously. But how and why of it baffled McGee, and he began to detect the lingering, unpleasant odor of sadism until he began to turn up the nasty little bits of evidence left by someone who preferred to maim rather than to kill, someone who liked to watch and savor the agony of the victim. And this novel was originally published in 1966. Now, anyone who is familiar with my channel knows that I like the New York Review Book Classics publisher, my favorite publisher around today, and they had some on discount. These are remaindered copies. You'll see that the bottom of the book has a little red dot. That means for whatever reason, the publisher sent them off to be sold at a reseller, in this case, Powell's Books. And the first one I picked up was Fathers and Children by Ivan Turgenev. This is more commonly known as Fathers and Sons. I'm not sure why the translators chose to name this Fathers and Children rather than Fathers and Sons. This book does not have an introduction or an afterword. That is a rarity for New York Book Review Classics. It usually has one of those too. But this is a classic 19th century novel of a Russian gentleman, part of the upper class, whose son is a political nihilist, and it is their conflict. Let me see what the back cover says of this edition. Ivan Turgenev's Fathers and Children is a book full to bursting with life, both comic and tragic. At the heart of this novel about love, politics, and society, strong beliefs and heated disagreements, illness and death, is the generational divide between the young and the old. When the young university graduate, Artaki, and his mentor, the nihilist Maraznov, leave St. Petersburg to visit their aging parents in the provinces, the conflict that ensues from the generations' clashing of views of the world, the youth's radicalism and the parents' liberalism, is both representative of the 19th century Russia and recognizably contemporary. At this time of publication in 1862, the book aroused indignation in the critics, who felt the betrayal of Turgenev's refusal to let the novel serve as a single ideology. I'm eager to reread this. I first read it when I was at University of Maryland studying English literature for a Russian language or a Russian novels in translation course. So I need to revisit this in its new translation. My apologies for the background noise. I am in a city. Hopefully the editing software will be able to knock out some of that noise. But I also picked up Our Philosopher by Gert Hoffmann. This is a novel translated from the German. The time is the 1930s. Our philosopher is Herr Winkelfield, a renowned thinker and distinguished professor who, after his sudden dismissal from the university, has retired to live quietly in a country town in the east of Germany. Our narrator is Hans, a clever and inquisitive boy. He relates a mix of things he witnesses himself and things he hears about from his father, the town doctor, and all of the sorts of people as he makes his rounds, even Welchenfield, who is troubled at heart. I have read a few books or a few short stories by this German author. He's quite interesting. This novel was originally published in 1986. This book is a completely new discovery for me. I'd never heard of it before until I discovered it on the shelf. It is Renee Lays by Victor Segelin, a novel translated from the French. In his enticing story of spiritual adventure, a Westerner in Peking seeks the mystery at the heart of the Forbidden City. He takes as a tutor in Chinese the young Bulgarian Renee Lays, who claims to be in the know about strange going-ons in the imperial palace, love affairs, family quarrels, conspiracies that threaten the very existence of the empire. But whether the truth-teller or a trickster, the elusive and ever-charming Renee presents in his increasingly dazzled discipline with a visionary glimpse of an essential palace built on the most magnificent foundations. The author was trained as a naval doctor and lived from 1878 to 1919. That Awful Mess on Via Mirana by Carlo Emilio Gadda, originally published in 1957 in Italian. In a large apartment house in central Rome, two crimes are committed within a matter of days. A burglary, in which a good deal of money and precious jewels are taken, and a murder, as a young woman whose husband is out of town is found with her throat cut. Called to investigate, melancholy detective Cicilio, a secret admirer of the murdered woman and a friend of her husband, discovers that almost everyone in the apartment building is someone involved in the case, in which each new development, the mystery only deepens and broadens. Gadda's sublimely different detective story presents a scathing picture of fascist Italy while tracking the elusiveness of the truth, the impossibility of proof, and the infinite complexity and workings of fate, showing how they can come into conflict with the demands and love. I love a good foreign mystery novel. I Who Have Never Known Men by Jacqueline Harpman, originally published in French in 1995. Deep underground, 39 women live imprisoned in a cage, watched over by guards. The women have no memory of how they got there, no notion of time, and only a vague recollection of their lives before. As the burn of electric light merges day into night, and the numberless years pass, a young girl, the 40th prisoner, sits alone and outcast in the corner. Soon she will show herself to be the key to the others' escape and survival in the strange world that awaits them above ground. I have heard a lot of fascinating and good things about this novel. I am going to be buddy reading this with Gavin at Genre Reads in December of 2026. He is doing a project to read one science fiction novel from 1926 to 2026, and I am joining him on a few buddy reads, and this will be one of them. But I'm going to have to wait until December to read it. The Besieged City by Clarice Lispector, originally published in Portuguese in 1949. The Besieged City is a book unlike any other in the Lispector canon. It even has a cheerful ending. A small-town gal marries a rich man, gets everything she wants, and lives happily ever after. Lucretia, the heroine, is free from the burden of thought. She is someone who leaned over without any individuality, trying merely to look at things directly. And yet her looking leads, paradoxically, but inevitably, to Clarice's own metaphysical concerns. As it turned out, not being profound is simply another way of being profound. The Besieged City is at once an ironic ode to the magnetism of the material world and the enigmatic meditation on the mystery of things. I have read a number of Lispector books before. She is a fascinating, deep thought author. I really enjoy her books. This is one, of course, that I have not read before. My favorite of her is The Passion of G.H., which contains one of the most shocking scenes in all Portuguese literature. So I'm looking forward to picking up this new one. Or not new one, new to me. The Ramayana, a new retelling of an ancient epic, complete and comprehensive, by Lenda Egenes and Kumara Ruddy. This is, of course, a new version of the famous 4th century BCE Hindu epic. I am planning on doing some reading later this year. I'm going to try to cover all of the major religions: Hinduism, Buddhism, Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. I want to read some of the sacred texts of all those religions and some related fiction to correspond with those religions. I had a hard time finding some fiction for Hinduism, so I sort of fudged a little bit and said, I'm going to read their famous epic, the Ramayana. I picked this edition because I can also get an audiobook version of this copy, and I can listen to it while I'm reading it, because it may be a little dense. I'm not familiar with the ancient epics of Hinduism. So that is my project. And this looks like it should be really rather fascinating to dig into. And that is my book haul from Powell's for this March of 2026. Thank you for watching, and keep on reading.